All right, evil scroll, here we go. Come on. Nat 5, come on. Oh! Haha! Yes! Hey guys, welcome back to another Calibria video, and we are pushing the limits even more with Invincibility. So, I showed you guys the arena, right? A few days ago, I showed you the arena of kind of this build, and now we're looking at Vapor Dreamlands, right? So, I have completed all of the stages on common, as well as hard, except level 100. For whatever reason, it says I've completed it all, but it bugged out. It didn't give me the option to complete the level 100 of the hard, but I'm confident that it can do it. I'm confident that this comp can beat this, but unfortunately, I don't have that video for you guys. I do have at the end the level 100 common video, just to kind of show you guys how it works. If you skip to that, just know that I was still learning the comp. I did not do that stage very effectively. It probably took me 3 times as long to do that stage, just because I tried to lower my crit rate down to the minimum, and just to get around the boss's passive, when really I should have threw in a different debuffer, right? So anyways, just keep that in mind if you guys go through that. I've sped up the video, but then I've slowed it down at each of the beginning of the stages, just to show you how I go through the beginning of each stage. And then after that, it's just kind of a simple rotation. To be fair though, it's very manual. It is very manual, and other than the rewards, aside from the rewards, I do not recommend going through all the stages with this invincibility comp. It's very manual. Any error that you do, basically you have to start over. For the most part, when you get in the high levels, if you mess up at all, you have to start over. And sometimes it just takes a while. Even if you kind of learn how to speed it up. If you can auto most of the Vapor Dreamlands, do that with your regular comp. And then if you get stuck and you have the option to do this invincibility, then you can look into this. So, okay, so for Cleo here, she's the foundation of this, right? So we know for her slot 3, she revives everyone. She resets all the skill cooldowns and 100% energy. So crucial for this build. And this slot 3 definitely is going to get you out of jams, so go ahead and get that as well. For the runes, you know, I started off with 1 immunity, then I went to 2, and then I went to 3 just because there's some spots where I was getting locked out because just kind of the situation I was getting into. 3 was just more secure for me. I did go speed here because at the higher levels, speed does matter. I'll kind of talk about that in a little bit, but you need a little bit of speed, at least with her. I can't remember if I did anyone else. We'll have to look, but I think just mainly her, really, for speed. And then other than that, survivability. We want a lot of survivability because she needs to be the last one living, right? We need her to survive over everyone else. The second person, and I've been looking around for other skills, but as far as I know, unless you guys tell me, this guy has a slot 3 that basically he resets all the skill cooldowns of an ally. I don't know anyone else that has this, but if someone else does, please let me know. It would make this comp even easier, and I'll explain a little bit, but these 2 heroes are kind of the main requirement, right? You need these 2 heroes from what I know right now to make this work. Everyone else, you can kind of mix and match. You can mix and match everyone else. And I have 1 set of immunity in him. You might not need this, but there might have been a couple stages where I didn't want to get him locked out, at least on the first turn. So I went ahead and put that in here, but basically no survivability. That's going to be key for everyone in this comp. But I don't know if we need that. I threw that on there. I probably ran into a situation, but I don't remember. Now, other than that, so your lead needs to be Cleo. Your shaman needs to be next to Cleo, because when you revive, when you do it manually, right? It's going to give everyone a turn in the order of the lineup. So we want shaman to be the first one that has the turn because he's going to reset the cooldown of Cleo. Now, So when you revive, I try to explain this. So after each round, basically you're going to have to hit auto to make it revive on a new round. When you do that, I think it's based on speed. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it has something to do with speed, I think, because it is not in the exact order of the lineup. So just make sure that this guy's next after Cleo, and I think he might be the fastest other than Cleo. He might be the fastest. We'll have to look. So your third slot and your fourth slot are going to be a DPSer and a debuffer. So for your DPS, basically you want someone that has damage based on either the max HP of the enemy or something around the HP, right? So we know Archmage has this skill here based on the target's HP that they've lost. Because as you go through high levels, they're gonna have a lot of HP. Keep in mind he's a lawful, so affinity is really important to mix and match. And then Goblin here, he has a skill that basically, again, is based on the target's max HP. So these are my two main DPSers that I use, and he is chaotic. My third DPSer that I kind of rotate in and out based on who I'm facing is Spider Queen, because she is evil. So now I have all three affinities, and she has an AoE that doesn't have a disadvantage. So she always has an advantage. So ideally, I want my evil to also to have a skill that is based on HP, but I already have her leveled out, so she works okay for me. So those are my three DPSers, three different affinities. Now for debuffers. So I got to level 100 common without using this guy. By the time I got to level 100, I was tired, and this guy just makes it easier. You don't have to have him, but he makes it easier. He definitely makes it easier just because of this here. Sometimes when things don't work out right, this kind of gets you out of jams. But the main reason that I use him is because of this defense break right here, the defense break. So you want a debuffer that has a defense break to basically speed up the process of killing everyone. I'm trying to think here. Let's see. So, oh yeah, the other one that I use a lot is actually Angel of Death, right? And on these, I don't have any survivability, but what I tried to do really was get a lot of hit on my debuffers. You don't need survivability, but you do need a lot of hit percentage to land the debuffs. So for her, she's actually really good. She is really good because she has a defensive break right here, and she has HP regen lock. So I was facing, there's some stages that face Dragoons that has a passive that basically procs a heal every time you hit them, right? So you need to put an HP regen lock on them so they don't constantly heal, because with this comp, you're not gonna be able to keep up with that if you don't lock down their regen. So the combination of these two on her is fantastic for a debuffer. So let me think here. So the other debuffer is Holy Cleric. So Holy Cleric, basically, I've already switched out her runes, but what I did was lower her survivability and high percentage of hit. For all my debuffers, that's what I did, because she has this skill here that removes a target's debuff. Actually, I think I used, here, this minute. I think I used this one here. I actually used this one because it's 100% actually to remove all the debuffs of a target. With this, I think I faced Jungle Hearts that had a shield. They had a shield, and I couldn't, because of the rotation that I did for them not having a turn, I could not DPS through their shield. So I threw her in to basically remove the shield. That way I could DPS them down. So I think that's all the debuffers that I've used. But for the level 100 common, actually I don't think I have him in here. I don't have him. I have him in storage, but I should have used Vampire, because Vampire locks the passive of the Draconian Princess passive. Basically, anytime you crit her or her allies, she has a chance to increase their energy. when you're going through the rotation, you don't ever want them to have a turn. So I was stupid, and what I did was in that video, I basically lowered my crit rate. I don't remember who I used, but I lowered the crit rate of my DPSer, and then I think I threw a debuffer on that, or a buffer that would never hit the enemies. And it took me an insane amount of time to go through the waves and to kill the boss because I was trying not to crit. What I should have done was keep my crit and keep all my damage, and threw Vampire in there just to disable her passive. And then I wouldn't have trouble, and it probably would have been 3 times as fast. So for the last slot, you need an 100% energy increase, right? So I do have a level 40 Windwalker, but of course you want everyone to die fast. So I do have a level 30 as well. You could use a level 1, and it would be just the same. And really what we're using is this skill here, because when you manually revive, she is the last one in your order, right? And she is going to be the last one to give Cleo another turn. So Cleo gets another turn, she can revive everyone again and go through that cycle, just like all those other times. So with that, she is lawful. So like I said, affinity is very important, right? So whenever we get in jams, we can use this guy right here, a 2-star imp, to do this skill. So this skill is 100% energy. The only difference between this guy and the Windwalker is Windwalker will actually heal Cleo as well, which does come in useful, where this guy puts a haste on her along with energy. So this guy is evil. So the reason I keep talking about affinities is because let's say you go through a stage and the first round, let's say, is all evil. Because there are some all evil stages, first round stages, and they're not AoE, they're single targets. So what are they gonna do? They are going to focus on people that they have advantage first, and then people they're neutral for, and then after that, the last one that they're gonna face is disadvantaged people, right? So whenever we have that, the problem is Cleo. She is the problem because we need her to stay alive at the very end, right? And if all the enemies are single target, and let's say they attack all my chaotic and all my evil, and let's say I have Windwalker as my lawful speed, right? Energy increase. They're not going to target her. They're going to target Cleo and try to kill Cleo first before they target Windwalker. And Cleo, so she has to be the last one surviving, or at least the last one other than your debuffer. You can get around your debuffer, but it's going to be slow. But you need your DPSer to die, you need Shaman to die, and you need your energy increase to die. You need those 3 to die to be able to go through this cycle here. You could have 2 DPSers, but the debuffer is pretty useful to go through stages really fast. So in that scenario, you have all evil. They're not going to focus on Windwalker. They're going to focus on Cleo after they kill everyone else. So that's the reason why I keep talking about affinities, and I have 3 different affinity DPSers. I have different debuffers, but you can get around the debuffers. And then I have 2 different affinities for the energy increases, because it's very important to mix and match depending on who you're facing, unless they have a lot of AoEs. If they have a lot of AoEs, they're probably just going to kill everyone pretty fast, and you won't have to worry about that. But anyways, here's a video of the level 100 common. And again, it's not very efficient. I was still learning, and I've sped up the video just because it took me a while. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this comp.